Turkey just put Israel on notice. A weapon capable of vaporizing everything within 300 meters is now in play. Ankara deployed its domestically built thermobaric rocket system, the TRLG-230, and the message is unmistakable. Military analysts are calling this the most serious Turkish escalation in decades. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what this weapon does, why Israel cannot easily stop it, and what happens next if diplomacy fails completely. This tension did not begin overnight. Years of anger built this moment. In October 2023, Hamas launched its assault on Israel. Within days, Erdogan called Netanyahu a war criminal. That was just the opening move. By 2024, Turkey had halted all trade with Israel. 47 categories of goods were blocked completely. Diplomatic relations collapsed almost entirely. Then came the flotilla declarations. Erdogan threatened to send warships toward Gaza. Israel called it an act of open aggression. But what nobody was watching was Turkey's silent weapons program. Roketsan, Turkey's state missile company, fast-tracked its thermobaric rocket program. By early 2025, field testing was complete. In March 2025, Turkish military sources briefed journalists directly. They described a weapon that steals oxygen from the air itself. Bunkers become coffins. No shelter survives its blast. Israel took immediate notice. Mossad filed urgent threat assessments to the Defense Ministry. One assessment carried a single title word: Gazap, the Turkish word for divine wrath. That one word changed everything. What you are about to hear has not been widely reported in Western media. The TRLG-230 is Turkey's domestically produced thermobaric rocket. Manufactured entirely by Roketsan, it carries a fuel-air explosive warhead. Each launcher holds 12 rockets. A full salvo delivers approximately 2.8 tons of thermobaric explosive in under 40 seconds. This is not a conventional rocket. It first disperses a fine aerosol cloud of fuel across a wide area. That cloud penetrates every crack, every vent, every tunnel entrance. Then the secondary ignition triggers. The resulting pressure wave travels in all directions simultaneously. Structures that survive the initial blast collapse under the pressure reversal that follows. The TRLG-230 has a confirmed range of 35 kilometers. Its lethal radius is 300 meters per warhead in open terrain. Against tunnel systems, the overpressure effects become even more deadly. Anyone watching Gaza's geography closely understands that connection immediately. The TRLG-230 does not operate alone. It is part of a layered strike architecture Turkey has assembled over 3 years. The Akinci UCAV works alongside it. This drone loiters at 40,000 feet for up to 24 hours. Its operational range exceeds 1,500 kilometers. From Turkish-controlled positions in the eastern Mediterranean, Israel falls well within that range. Turkish naval forces currently operate in the eastern Mediterranean. 2 frigates, 1 submarine, and multiple fast attack craft are deployed. Additionally, Turkey repositioned its 3rd Missile Brigade near Iskenderun in early 2025. From that location, southern Israel sits directly within striking distance. This is not politics. This is geography. Here is where the picture becomes deeply uncomfortable for Israeli planners. Iron Dome intercepts standard rockets at approximately 90% success rate. But the TRLG-230 flies a low-altitude profile at under 100 meters above ground. Iron Dome's engagement envelope becomes significantly unreliable at that threshold. A simultaneous salvo of 12 rockets overwhelms the intercept calculation software entirely. David's sling was designed for ballistic threats at higher altitudes. It was not built for low-flying subsonic thermobaric rockets. Israel's layered defense architecture has a gap. Turkish military planners appear to have identified it deliberately. Israel's F-35I Adir aircraft, operating from Squadron 69, would need preemptive strike authorization to neutralize TRLG-230 launchers before they fire. That requires precise intelligence, rapid political authorization, and successful penetration of Turkish air defenses. Achieving all 3 simultaneously is not simple. The weapon itself is not the whole story. The trigger matters more. Erdogan has publicly declared 3 red lines. First, a full Israeli ground assault on the Rafah crossing. Second, confirmed use of incendiary weapons by Israeli forces. Third, Palestinian civilian deaths exceeding 60,000 with confirmed IDF attribution. By April 2025, international monitoring organizations placed the Gaza death toll above 50,000. The gap between that number and Erdogan's threshold narrows every single week. One senior Turkish official told journalists in March 2025, "The mechanism is loaded." He was not speaking metaphorically. Now ask yourself one question. If Turkey activates that mechanism, what do the first 48 hours actually look like? That answer is waiting for you in the next section. Examine this weapon the way a military engineer would. The TRLG-230 uses a two-stage detonation sequence. Stage 1 disperses ethylene oxide-based aerosol across a wide footprint. Stage 2 triggers ignition through a secondary fuse system embedded in the warhead body. The resulting overpressure reaches 30 to 50 bar within the detonation radius. Human lung tissue ruptures at sustained pressures above 3 bar. This weapon operates at 17 times that threshold. No body armor provides meaningful protection from thermobaric overpressure at close range. None. Origin: Turkish. Developer: Roketsan. Range: 35 kilometers. Speed: 300 meters per second. That gives a defender just 116 seconds from launch detection to impact at maximum range. Independent analysts estimate Israel can intercept 6 to 8 rockets from a 12-rocket salvo. That leaves 4 to 6 thermobaric warheads reaching their target. Against a fortified military installation, that number is catastrophically sufficient. According to a finding referenced in a leaked Turkish General Staff internal document reported by Middle East Eye in February 2025, the TRLG-230 was explicitly evaluated against layered coastal defense architectures. The conclusion stated that a 3-battery simultaneous launch creates an intercept saturation condition that exceeds current adversary response capacity. Those words were not written for public consumption. They were written for war planners. The Akinci is not merely a drone. It is a flying strike platform that competes directly with manned aircraft capabilities. Produced by Baykar, the same company that made the TB2 famous in Ukraine and Nagorno-Karabakh, the Akinci operates at an entirely different performance tier. Origin: Turkish. Service entry: 2021. Operational range: 1,500 kilometers. Cruising altitude: 40,000 feet. Payload capacity: 1,350 kilograms across 6 hardpoints. Maximum endurance: 24 hours of continuous loiter. It carries the SOM cruise missile with a 250-kilometer range. It also carries laser-guided bombs and smart micro-munitions simultaneously. Now compare it against Israeli defenses directly. Arrow 3 intercepts ballistic missiles at exo-atmospheric altitude. The Akinci does not fly a ballistic trajectory. Iron Dome targets low-altitude fast rockets. The Akinci flies high and slow. David's Sling occupies the middle tier but was designed around threat profiles that a 40,000-foot UCAV partially avoids. Every Israeli defense layer has a blind spot, and the Akinci exploits a different one from each position. A Turkish military document leaked to the newspaper Cumhuriyet in 2024 described a coordinated swarm concept involving 8 to 12 simultaneous Akinci platforms. The document noted that Israeli radar systems would experience identification and prioritization saturation under that volume. Estimated Israeli response window: just 18 minutes from detection to intercept attempt. TCG Kinaliata and TCG Burgazada, both Milgem-class corvettes, are currently operating in the region. Each carries the Atmaka anti-ship missile. Range: 220 kilometers. Flight profile: 3 to 5 meters above the water surface. Radar detection at that altitude is extremely difficult until the final seconds of approach. Israel's Sa'ar 6 class corvettes carry the Sea Dome naval defense system. Sea Dome performs well against single incoming threats. Against coordinated multi-axis Atmaka launches from dispersed naval platforms, the interception mathematics become deeply unfavorable. IISS estimated in its 2025 military balance publication that a 4-ship coordinated Turkish naval strike would require Israel to successfully intercept at least 16 sea-skimming missiles within a 90-second engagement window. Current Israeli naval inventory makes that outcome statistically unlikely. Two scenarios are now on the table. Intelligence analysts are actively gaming both. The clock is already running. In this scenario, Turkey stops short of direct military action. Erdogan uses the TRLG-230 as pure leverage. Public test launches occur in full view of satellite monitoring. Ultimatums travel through diplomatic back channels quietly. American and European Union pressure creates a temporary pause. Turkey achieves partial political objectives: a Gaza ceasefire, increased humanitarian access, and a formal UN censure of Israel. Military assets return to standard deployment positions. The thermobaric threat remains holstered, but never disappears. This outcome demands simultaneous restraint from all parties. That alignment is fragile. It has collapsed before without warning. Now consider what happens when one miscalculation occurs. Gaza's death toll crosses Erdogan's stated 60,000 threshold. A Turkish aid vessel gets intercepted by Israeli naval forces. Erdogan faces a critical domestic confidence vote. Any single one of these triggers is enough. Turkey activates the 3rd Missile Brigade immediately. Akinci drones lift off from Diyarbakir Air Base. 12 TRLG-230 launchers fire simultaneously toward pre-calculated coordinates. Within 90 minutes, Israeli air defense systems are operating at full saturation. Israel scrambles F-35I sorties in response. Turkey's 80 newly delivered F-16 Block 70 aircraft intercept them over the eastern Mediterranean. The first direct air engagement between two NATO-affiliated militaries in the alliance's entire history begins. Article 5 cannot be invoked. Both nations are NATO members. The alliance fractures in real time. Russia observes from Khmeimim Air Base in Syria and prepares to exploit every opening. Iran activates proxy networks simultaneously across the region. Within 72 hours, the entire Middle East is in open conflict. One truth stands above every scenario. The moment Turkey fires the first TRLG-230 round toward Israeli territory, the rules governing Middle Eastern conflict for 30 years no longer exist. Here is the biggest revelation of this entire video. Turkey does not need to fire a single weapon to win. The TRLG-230, the Akinci, the naval posture, they are instruments of a pressure campaign. Erdogan understands something Western analysts consistently underestimate. In modern geopolitical conflict, the credible threat of overwhelming force achieves more than the force itself ever could. Israel cannot simultaneously manage a Turkish military activation, a Hezbollah ground campaign, Iranian ballistic missile volleys, and domestic political collapse. That arithmetic is Turkey's real weapon, not the thermobaric warhead. By forcing Israel to acknowledge that a NATO member now holds both the capability and the declared will to strike, Erdogan permanently altered the regional power equation. Tel Aviv's military planning documents now carry a Turkish threat variable that simply did not exist 5 years ago. The loser here is not the side that absorbs the first strike. The loser is the side that can no longer plan without fear. Right now, that side is Israel. The winner has not fired a single round. History will not remember this as the moment Turkey threatened Israel. History will remember it as the moment the Middle Eastern balance of power shifted forever, and the world was too distracted to notice. Turkey's thermobaric threat is only one piece of a far larger puzzle forming right now. Our next video exposes something even more alarming. What happens when Iran and Turkey coordinate their strike timelines simultaneously against a single target? Can any defense system on Earth survive that combination? Hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell right now. Every hour you wait, this situation moves forward without you. Do not be the last person to find out what is coming.